Everyone copes and everyone handles pain differently. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
If you're looking for a winner, follow love. Looking for attention, looking for supreme, looking for a queen, follow love. Just roll with me. If you're looking for a winner, follow love. Looking for attention, looking for supreme.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another day with Shay. If you're new here, please be sure to hit subscribe button and the notification bell. But if you're OG, if you're part of the Greenwood gang, what it do? How are you, boo-boo? If this is your first time, hello, my name is LaShay. I am the owner, founder, and CEO of The Main Attraction. We sell all natural hair care, skincare, and body care products. So be sure to check us out at LaShayGreenwood.com and use code YouTube for money off your first purchase. Our link will also always be in the description box. You can shop there, become an affiliate to refer friends, and make money in your sleep. Also, if you're interested in becoming a brand ambassador for my business, you can do that there as well. Okay, y'all, so today is a heavier video. I don't think, oh my god, why am I almost crying? I'm not gonna cry because everything, I'm not gonna cry. I have never did a story time on this. I've never talked about this before. I'm literally tearing up. What? Oh my god, I don't know why. I really hope God please just get me through. I really hope I can just get through this video without crying. I'm not gonna be crying today. I do not want to cry today. So this is a story time from when I was teaching, and of course, like always, I will be changing the name of people involved in the story just for confidential purposes. Confidentiality, yeah, purposes. And it's so severe that I'm not going to be. I don't even want you to know if this student was a boy or a girl. I'm not going to say what grade they were in. All you'll know is that they were in high school. So high school is 9th through 12th grade. I don't want you to know if it's a boy or girl. So I'm going to use a neutral like name. Like a gender neutral name. And I guess we can go with Danny. Because Danny could be a girl or it could be a boy. Before we get started, I would like to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. I have been using BetterHelp, y'all, for the past 7 to 8 months. And I absolutely love them. Y'all know I tell y'all about BetterHelp all the time. In therapy, I have learned so many like coping mechanisms because like I said, I recently quit teaching. It's just a whole lot of different life changes. So I moved into my first home. I quit my job and started the entrepreneurial journey, and I have been equipped with so many tools to help me be successful and to help me in the times where I feel a bit anxious. And God is so good, y'all. I cannot make this up. I was just talking with a family friend about BetterHelp earlier this morning for getting help for one of their children. But I could not have found a better solution when it comes to therapy for you guys. And the story time that I'm going to be talking about today, it revolves around therapy, and it's just an eye-opener for those in need of therapy. So what I love most about BetterHelp is that they match you with the therapist that is perfect for you, and for no extra charge for any reason. If you would like to request a new therapist, you can with absolutely no cost to you. Well, in today's story time, I'm going to be telling you guys about one of my students that it's a very heavy video. So no matter what you're going through, they have therapists who can help you, and therapists that are experienced in every area that you could think of. One of my favorite things that I love most about BetterHelp is that you can actually join from the comfort of your own home. You do not have to go in office for the sessions. You can literally do the sessions from anywhere. So it's very practical, it's very convenient. If you're interested, click the link in my description box or visit the link on the screen, betterhelp.com/adaywithshay for 10% off your first month. But before we get started, parents, like, please check on your kids. You never know what they're going through. And growing up, I never really had people to talk to like that. Like my mom, you know, it's just some people who are stuck in their ways and just don't see things from other people's perspective, you know. And if y'all hear something or see something, it's my cat right here. Hey. Everyone copes and everyone handles pain differently. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. everyone handles pain differently. So that one of the songs that got me through my toughest time and that really opened my eyes was Love Yours. I got it tattooed. Can y'all, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's called Love Yours. So if you're going through anything, no matter if it's emotional, financial, mental, like mentally, spiritually, financially, physically, whatever you're going through, I challenge you to, I don't know if y'all believe in God, but if you don't, then you better take heed. But if you do believe in God, then, you know, of course, listening to gospel, sermons, things like that always help me. Going out in nature is a good thing that helps me. Therapy is a good option as well. I mean, that link will be in the description box if you like that option. I really never went to therapy until I was in college. It was my very first time. But before we get into the story time, I just want y'all to just listen to the story from with an open mind, because it can save a life. Everyone at some point is going to experience pain. It's unavoidable. You can't avoid it. It's gonna happen, and it's just like, it's part of the contract that you sign when you come into this world unwillingly. You're gonna have pain. And so the story time is a time about a student. For the word, can I say unalive? Because I don't want to say, we're gonna say unalive. We're going to use that term, but of course the S word I would not be saying. You can put two and two together. What do you do if you want to unalive yourself? That's what we're talking about here. So when I was teaching, I had a student, actually 2 students, and I will share the other story time. It's a bit more graphic. It's a bit more graphic, and that student was in elementary. I guess you can, yeah, elementary. So if you want to hear that story time, then comment down below. I'll be happy to film that for you as well. But I figured that I just come a little bit lighter and start with something that I know I may still tear up, but it's not going to be, I'm going to get through it. Danny was one of my high school students. This child always, so this child was this child was the oldest child in their family, right? So their parents had, I think 4 kids, maybe 3, but they were the oldest. The moral of the story is Danny found one of the parents. I'm not gonna say if it was the mom or the dad, but the student found one of their parents deceased, and they had unalived themselves. So going through that as a child, I have no words. You know, I can't imagine going through it as an adult, but finding your parent like that as a child is crazy. I haven't really talked to this child since I left that school. I'm not gonna say what year, but it's been definitely over a year since I talked to them. I hope they're doing well, and I keep them in my prayers. It's really hard to tell the story, y'all. If I'm like talking slowly, it's because it's very hard to tell the story without saying like he or she. I didn't realize how hard that would be, so I have to be conscious of like what I say. So that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to get the words out. But that student found their parent, and their younger sibling was with them as well. And can I say the gender? So Danny got home from school one day, and the parent had been going through depression, and I think the parent was also like bipolar. So it's always been struggles with that parent, right? And so one day when Danny got home from school, she was calling for the parent. And the parent was there, you know, the cars and things were there. She was calling for the parent, but the parent did not respond. Danny said that they got a gut feeling that something wasn't right, so they went into all of the rooms, and they found their parent in the closet. But the first reaction the student had was like to scream and cry. And so the younger sibling came and also seen the deceased parent, and I'm not gonna say how the parent died, but Danny did say that they tried to save the parent, but it was too late. They were already gone. And so she calls for help, and help comes, but that's the moral of the story. I'm getting like headache. I don't want to go too into it, but I can't imagine the trauma that does to a kid, you know, especially this happened. They were in middle school when this happened, and their sibling was in elementary school. So although Danny found the body, the younger kid also seen it, and so that's heavy. Eventually, Danny gets put on antidepressants. They get put on bipolar medication, Xanax, a whole bunch of things to help cope with the anxiety, the trauma. And I noticed that this student had like cuts on their arms. And I didn't really say much because they were very faint. I thought like maybe I'm just imagining. I mean, I knew I wasn't imagining things, but it was so faint that it could have been anything. But then we had a heart-to-heart one day, and that student told me, you know, she told me the story of her finding her parent. And one of the ways that that student coped was kind of with laughter. And it started out as like the student was telling me what happened, and they were smiling at the beginning of the story, you know, telling me about it, and they were kind of giggling. But then at the end, after, you know, they seen that I was kind of like tearing up from the situation, they did end up like crying. And to me, it was a bit odd. I didn't understand. I'm like, why is this student laughing or smiling and they found their parent? But like I said, everyone deals and copes with pain differently, and that's fine, because whatever gets you through the day. The student was going through so much. Their grades weren't good. They couldn't focus. They were on all this medication, so they were sleepy during class. They didn't have their personality that they had once before. Like before the whole situation happened and before they started taking medicine, they completely changed. Like they were two completely different people. And so just like watching how medication can change people and their persona is wild. So one thing that I did post, and I posted it yesterday actually. I'm about to show y'all. I posted it yesterday, and it's like free medicine or like holistic medicine. Like I mentioned, nature is big for me. If I'm feeling down or feeling out, I like love to go just sit and be still in nature. But these are some tips that y'all can screenshot. Let me see if I can show you. It's a story. Maybe I should just go to the post. That'll be smart. So it says sunlight, nature, dancing, sleep, grounding, breath work, community, hugs, meditation, laughter, movement. And then one day, I noticed she didn't come to school for like, I noticed that the student didn't come to school for like a week. And so I'm asking around, like I say, Danny, anybody seen Danny? And the first 2 days, no one said anything. I knew for sure 3 of the students that were in my class, and I had a lot of students, were friends of Danny's. And they ended up telling me that she had tried to unalive herself. Danny locked themselves in the bathroom so that the siblings couldn't find her. And it's very hard. Y'all, it's very hard for me to tell a story. So I'm just going to have to... It's just so hard for me to, and if you've made it this far, then I feel like you deserve to know. Like, it's so hard for me to tell the story without saying the gender. Like, the name, fine, but the gender is very tough. So I'm just gonna have to go with it. One of her friends ended up coming to tell me that she had tried to unalive herself and had taken a lot of pills, but locked herself up because she didn't want her younger siblings to find her the same way that she found her parent. And it hit me. Like, I don't know if mental illness or like things like this is hereditary. Y'all comment down below and educate me a little bit. I genuinely don't know. I feel like it's the same with like people who have a line or a history of drug abuse. Stop it. Stop. Their mom was on drugs, then they end up being on drugs. You get what I'm saying? And then it's just like a never-ending cycle. After that incident, she was sent to a mental hospital. She was placed on evaluation, like I think a watch for, or like a hold for 48 hours, 72 hours, something like that. I don't really remember how long, but she was in a mental hospital. And she ended up coming back about, I say 3 weeks later. I'm not gonna cry. And then when she came back to school, I stay in my room during my planning periods. And during my planning period, she walked through my door. She stood in my door, and I'm like looking. I had to do a double take because she hadn't been there in so long. And so I look, and I stand. I stand, and I tell her to come in. She comes in, and immediately we start bawling. We're crying. And I prayed and I said, Lord, I just pray that you give Danny the peace she needs and the tools to help her heal. I remember praying for just peace. I said, Lord, I just ask that you just give her peace and help her to find joy in every situation. Because we know that happiness is fleeting. So I just pray that you provide her with endless joy. I prayed, and I wasn't right that whole day, y'all. I had to take some time off, but we ended up talking about it, and she told me like the things she did. I'm not gonna go into detail, but she told me like what she did. Y'all get the gist. I told y'all pretty much what happened. And that changed me. After that day, I started this thing in my classroom where all students wrote for 10 minutes at the beginning of class. It's something that my high school teacher did with me. Her name is Miss Stokes. I remember, I'll never forget. And it was one of my favorite parts about going to her class. Every day she would have us write in a journal. So I got all my students' journal. Every school I went to, everybody got journals. I got them the journal so that they could write out their feelings, because sometimes you don't have people to talk to, or sometimes it's hard to express yourself. I never read them. What I would do was, because it was a grade, it was like a morning grade, or what do you call it, like a bell work. I tell them, I don't care what you do, just don't stop writing. 10 minutes straight. And they're like, oh, I can't think about it. Whatever come to your mind, you write about it. Just write out your thoughts, write out your feelings. I had them do that, and I think that's a great exercise as well for healing. And so I kept their journals locked up. So I'm really big on like creating like a family environment within my classroom, making sure that everyone is kind, because you never know what other people are going through. I would have never known that if she had never shared that with me, because she was so bright, she was so full of personality, so bubbly. She didn't have a lot of friends, but the friends she did have, they were like tight. So you just never know. You never know. And you never know how like people can change, like their life can change overnight. And I think about that all the time. Like her life literally changed overnight. You went from your parent being there one day to finding their body the next day. That's heavy. Moral of the story, y'all, check on your kids. Teachers, check on your students. If you're a teenager watching this, check on your friends. Make sure that you're kind to everybody, because everybody's going through something. And everybody at some point is going to go through pain. So just imagine how you would like to be treated if you were going through something. It could be big or small. It could be big to you, small to you, but big to another person. And that's my story time for today. I'm going to go. I don't want to cry on camera. But don't forget to pray. If you need someone to talk to, make sure that you go to therapy. Make sure that you can confide in a friend. But I feel like God is the best person to talk to. But sometimes when you need like extra help and you don't know which way to go or like how to turn, that's when you should seek counseling. Try the free medicine that I share with y'all. If you're watching this, you never know, it could save a life. Please comment your tactics down below of like what you do when you're going through pain, or you're anxious, or you're upset, or you're sad, or you're going through really tough times. What are some things that you do to help you uplift your mood? For me, I'll give y'all mine. Like I said, I like to sit in nature. I like to hang around family, friends too, people that just really have your best interest at heart. I love to clean. I like to go for car rides. I like to journal. I like to just find motivation. So I'll listen to sermons. I'll listen to Steve Harvey, gonna do it for me every time. Y'all know I brag about him. Or I will just sit down and envision my life in a couple of years, because I like to follow the 5-second rule. If it's not gonna matter in 5 years, then don't spend, well, is it 5 minutes? Don't spend more than 5 minutes being upset about it. Give yourself time. Be angry. And of course, that doesn't apply to situations like this where it's extreme. But if it's something that ruined your day, maybe you got into a car accident and you totaled your car, or you wrecked your car, you're still alive, you're still in good health. Try not to harp on it. I know, because it could have been worse. That's one thing I like to keep at the back of my mind, is that life could be totally different. Life could be so much worse. And so just approaching everything with a gratitude stance also helps me. I may not be where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. And in 5 years, this situation will not matter, unless it's like a death or something like that that's permanent. But that's it for this video, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you would like more story times, then let me know. I would be more than happy to film them for you. Like I said, I do have another story time, but that one is more graphic. So y'all, I hope that y'all are good. I'm praying for y'all. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for all the support. Comment down below what type of videos you want to see next on my channel. Don't forget to shop The Main Attraction, LaShayGreenwood.com. The link is in my description box. As I always say, you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with me, and for that I thank you. Always remember to take it easy and love yours, and I'll catch you in the next one.